Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you and your family as you transition from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. Fear is a paralyzing thing, and there are so many opportunities and times in this walk where you can be afraid and fear comes knocking at your door. But I would like to submit to you that you don't have to allow fear in. You do not have to be afraid. That you can speak to fear and tell fear, I refuse to fear. When situations come my way, when things come at me, and sometimes, things can come at us in multiples, right? And that can be overwhelming and cause you to want to fear. But when that happens, you guys, I tell myself and I speak to those situations and I speak to that fear and I tell it, I refuse to fear. And you have to do that. You have to take your stance. You have to take your stance when things come at you, because the way that you react initially upon things happening to you, upon things that you're hearing, on different situations in life, it has a lot to do with the outcome of what eventually happens with those situations. You have to take your stance on the onset of things coming at you. And a lot of time your stance will have to be, or part of that stance, because you may have to make several declarations, but one of those declarations has to be, I refuse to fear. You may say it on the inside. Sometimes you have to say it out loud. You have to speak it to that situation to not allow fear to come in, because when fear comes in, it can be a very paralyzing thing. Even if you're battling it out with fear and it's staring you in the face and it's trying hard to come in, and you're making your stance saying that I refuse to fear, even if you have allowed fear to come in and you are afraid, you are terrified at the things that you're facing, do not become paralyzed. You have to make a decision. You have to move forward. You have to continue to do the things that you need to do. Do not give in to a spirit of fear. You have to fight it and not allow it to come in. Sometimes, you guys, things come at us and you're shaking in your boots and there's all these decisions you have to make, and the results of those decisions could cost you your life. The result of a lack of making a decision could cost you your life. You have big things in the balance because we're dealing with life or death. Those things happen. Those things come at us multiple times sometimes in life. Some people may deal with it once or twice in life, and sometimes when you're dealing with sickness and disease, it can happen to you a lot of different times in life. One thing I want to tell you is this. In your walk, facing sickness and disease, there is no, kind of like Yoda. My daddy used to say this all the time, what Yoda said in one of the Star Wars movie. He said, do or do not. There is no try. You are not trying to get better. You are not trying to not to fear. You are not trying to eat right or trying to exercise. It's either you are doing or you are not doing. Now, in your doing, it may seem small. It may seem like, whatever you're doing is very minute. It's not doing a lot, but it's doing. It's not trying. You have to be able to differentiate between that. I remember when my husband came to me years ago, and he was like, he had this great revelation, right? He said, I'm always saying, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to raise my kids. He said, but what I found out is there is no trying to take care of my family. Either I am taking care of my family or I'm not. In your process of trying, you are actually doing or not doing. So you have to take your stance. You have to take a stance, and you have to move forward in your health. Do not try to not do it. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And when you're dealing with fear, what happens is you sometimes might try to take a step forward It doesn't go the way that you think. There's a lot of resistance. It's a lot harder, a lot more painful than you thought. And so fear will tell you, back up. See, I told you it wasn't going to work for you. But go ahead and take the step. Do what you need to do. And what I have found is sometimes you might try to take a step. You get a lot of resistance. It pushes you back. You're not able to take the step. It's okay. Shake yourself off. Guess what? Get back up. Take the step again. And fear may tell you you're trying, but it's not working. I would like to submit to you, you're not trying, you're doing. You are doing. When a baby is learning how to walk, they get up, they fall, they get up, they fall, they get up, they're shaky, they stand for half a second, they fall. Until eventually they take a half a step, they fall down. They take 2 steps, they fall down. And the next thing you know, they're up and they're running, right? So is that baby trying to learn how to walk? No, that baby is learning how to walk. That is part of the process. It is doing walking. As it is building strength, it is figuring it out, it is doing. Do. Don't try. Stand against fear. Don't try to battle fear. Battle it out. Don't try to stand against fear. Stand against fear. Don't hesitate to do what you know that you need to do. And in the event that fear is there and you don't know the right way, the right path, the right decision, I'm going to tell you what I do, you guys. I get in my Bible. I pray to God. I pray the scriptures. I sit quietly and I listen. And it is amazing, you all, that even if I don't walk away saying, oh, I know exactly what I need to do, when I begin to speak, what I need to do will come out of me. It'll come out of me with fire and fierceness, and I know exactly what it is that I need to do. So even when you don't know what you need to do, you can try doing what I do. Or the other thing that is good to utilize that I've utilized is find out as much as possible as you can, and then take a step in the direction that you feel is best for you. It's either going to work out for you or it's not. And sometimes you don't get the results that you want, but somehow it all pans out to work together for you in the bigger scope of your life. So remember, in all things, do you. Hope this was helpful to you. Until next week. Bye.